Okay, so we're back here with the folks from A Lucky Movie who are currently working on their first feature film, Tokyo Syndrome. We spoke with them in the first Newberry Film podcast a few weeks ago, but we're back.
Okay, so one of the problems that we ran into first was the built-in LCD of the HVX 200. 2.5 LCD. It's basically not big enough, not enough resolution for us to judge focus. So that was a big problem.
That and combined with the SG Pro, it's flipped completely upside down.
Right.
The image that you're filming is...
Yeah, so
we have the version, yeah.
it's impossible to frame by itself as is.
It's horizontally and vertically, like it is horizontally and vertically inverted.
Yeah.
So
Left is right, right is left, up is down, down is up.
So at first we were using a flip mod, like a series of mirrors that would flip the image out. I remember you mentioning that, Mike.
Yeah.
You saw it. The whole apparatus was like a mirror here, another mirror, just to flip the image, so we could actually, frame the shots. And left was left, actually left. So that was working, but it was just very difficult to frame the shots. Like, you really had to have your brain think that one direction is one direction while you move in another direction. So just a pain. So we decided on the DVD player.
Yeah, actually, when we bought the DVD player, the main purpose of it was it had enough lines of resolution. So we basically asked ourselves, what was more important, framing the shot or keeping images in focus? Right. And then we decided...
And both are important.
Yeah, they're both important, but we figured if the focus is blown out, then we lose our shot.
Yeah.
So we bought the DVD player for the sole purpose of keeping everything in focus. Right. But then when we actually got it, it was a godsend that it actually flipped the image for us too, left and right. And then we ended up finding a used one on eBay.
Right.
But it is hot pink, as you can see.
It's a wonderful color. It's fantastic.
It was half the price of a black one. It's hugely important, and it's worth mentioning that it's a $60 solution to what may cost up to $1,000 for a professional monitor. It does the job perfectly. It's fine.
Basically, we took apart a lamp. As you can see here, these two arms are from like a lamp that I had in my basement sitting somewhere. These clamps I've purchased from Home Depot. They were like $4 a piece, but they clamp
We're
pretty
digging
well
around
to
for like
the
an
rail.
hour trying to find specific parts that would hook onto our rails.
Yeah.
But as you can see, it fits on perfectly everything.
Right. And so these arms attach directly to these clamps, which directly connect to the back plate here, which is tied around two belts behind the DVD player. And that's basically how the entire apparatus is set up.
You built the frame yourself, right?
Yeah, it's just a couple metal strips here, as you can see. It's like basically a Z pattern here, and an H over it.
Yep. And then he's got a mouse pad.
Yeah, the mouse pad is kind of cool. Like, is that just to stop the frame from digging into
the screws in the back? Yeah.
I guess when looking for one of these LCDs, what you want to look for is it has an output. What do you call it?
A video in. Video in.
Video in.
Yeah, composite video in. Or, well, the higher end models have the HD input, which basically give a better video quality. But for our purposes,
and for this
composite
camera,
video is completely fine.
Our first test with the camera, a major problem with the image was the focus was blown out,
right.
But the other main problem was the shakiness of it all. Right. It wasn't natural, and it stemmed from our original model of the Steadicam, which is this poor man's Steadicam where we have this, and it rests right on your chest.
Right. Basically, what it is it's the flyer model. If you're familiar with the Steadicams, it's the flyer model of the Steadicam Pro, where you have the counterweight in the bottom. But in addition, you can see here that we added this little, I guess it's the extra arm for the weight of the camera.
Yeah, so basically it pivots out, supposed to like you moving it around, it will pivot from there.
But even with that, the weight of the camera was just too much. It was like, even with the counterweight, the 3-pound counterweight, we were still getting unnatural shake. This is the shoulder mount technique that we have here. And the thing that I got from Chris Doyle was that he used a huge pouch like a belt that wrapped around a huge pillow, which he would rest his arms on, like so. It would just completely steady the image. Like even walking, mostly he had turning shots like this.
It would act like a shock absorber too, the pillow.
Right, completely. And that's where actually these handle grips came in.
Yeah, like we mentioned in the last interview, these handle grips are actually from a bike.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
These are mountain bike grips.
He just dismantled the bike and figured out a way to.
That used to be a bike and a lamp.
Yeah, the actual parts are just like we have copper piping here that we cut in half that screws onto this little clamp on either side. Then we have a stopping screw here to secure the entire apparatus. So,
Wow.
like so.
So it's
And how long can you keep that on your shoulder without you wanting to just throw it on the ground and have nothing to do with cinematography?
He's been working
ever?
Yeah,
He's been working out.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
also have the vest too that we worked on.
The
Yeah.
vest with the padding, I think I can keep it on for a good half of the day.
Wow.
At least, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a funny story. At Home Depot, we're looking at the parts. And then-
The piping here that we used to thread into these clamps here.
Yeah.
And we were looking through what were the choices. We had
aluminum,
copper, galvanized steel. And
But
what was the difference? The difference was that
Well, aluminum's the lightest of all the materials, but it was also the most
I
expensive.
think it was $8 for 3 inches.
Yeah, as opposed to the galvanized steel, which we did ended up using. It was noticeably a lot heavier.
$1.49.
A buck.
Yeah, for a couple ounces. So we were like,
But in choosing the steel, we've sacrificed
Weight.
a more heavier
So-
rig, I suppose.
and that just means I have to work out for another week, pretty much.
Yeah.
So who put this together? I think.
It was John, but
Yeah, it was.
but
he's
I
not
could
here. Yeah.
I could talk about this.
Yeah, it's one of our actors put this together.
Yeah.
We're all doing double shifts at Lucky Movie.
I don't really know where to start with this. It's actually a painter's pole, not really a boom pole, because throughout our entire production, we've saved a lot of money just by using everyday items in place of professional ones. A boom pole costs up to $200, and this painter's pole from Home Depot costs a whopping $16. And we get pretty good length on it. I forget how to use this. Yeah, it's pretty decent. The only thing
Wow,
about
it
it
extends.
is, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's a true boom pole.
So what we've done is the most important piece would be the shock mount. What that does, it stabilizes the mic so you don't get any unnecessary
Vibration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vibration.
Because most of the audio equipment is just that sensitive. That if you just move it in a certain way, it'll pick up wind, noises, air.
Right.
And the most
Filaments.
difficult part was attaching this piece to the boom pole because the threading just wasn't right. So what one of our actors, John Liu, did was he had this. I don't even what do you call it? The rollers.
Yeah.
Oh, the painting roller?
Yeah.
And then we've attached a thread here that leads to the shock mount, and this
Right.
is the cable that runs through.
Then there's some duct tape. Thank God for duct tape.
I don't know if you can see because we wrapped duct tape around it, but there are actually zip ties
Yeah.
under it to secure this thread
Right.
to this roller. It's actually not that stable. We're trying to work on
because
it.
the threading on this piece right here wouldn't attach itself to wow.
Yeah, so it's a zip line with duct tape. It's not too stable. We're
It's
we're
not
hoping.
the most permanent solution.
Yeah, we're
to
hoping
do
we
for now,
get a different,
absolutely.
a better model sometime in the future. And you can see here, one of the pieces broke off on our shock mount. It dropped, so
That was quite an incident.
so the rubber, one of the original rubber bands can't go around because it needs this hook. So what Dennis did was he just used a
Standard rubber band.
in place of it. It works fine. I
Yep.
mean, it still does the job.
Yep. Absolutely. And that's our boom pole.